Have you ever looked into a woman's eyes and felt that she wanted to say something, but didn't? That she wanted to open her heart, yet something held her back? It's not because she doesn't care. It's because she's waiting to see if your soul feels safe enough to enter hers. Welcome to Be Feminine, where we decode the emotional and psychological layers of attraction, helping you understand women not through manipulation, but through emotional truth. So if you've ever wondered what a woman truly feels when she finally lets you in, listen carefully, because this will change the way you see connection forever. When a woman truly lets you in emotionally, it's not a simple moment, it's a sacred unfolding. You see, for her, emotional intimacy isn't casual. It's terrifying, beautiful, and deeply personal. Before she opens up, she carries invisible walls, built not out of pride, but out of pain. Every wall has a story. Someone she trusted who didn't understand her. Someone she loved who made her feel too much. Someone who said, "You're too emotional," when all she wanted was to be understood. So when you meet a woman who seems a little guarded, don't assume she's cold. That guardedness is protection. Her softness lives behind it, waiting for the right kind of energy, the kind that feels patient, grounded, and safe. She doesn't open up to charm, she opens up to consistency. She doesn't fall for words, she falls for presence. In the beginning, she'll quietly test you not to play games, but to measure how much of herself she can reveal. She might share a small piece of vulnerability, something about her past, her fears, or her doubts. And in that moment, she's not just talking, she's observing. She's watching how you react. Do you listen without interrupting? Do you stay calm when she shows emotion? Do you make her feel seen, or do you make her feel dramatic? Because when you handle her softness with respect, something beautiful happens inside her. Her nervous system relaxes. She no longer feels the need to protect herself. Her body language softens, her tone warms, and her laughter becomes genuine. For the first time in a long time, she feels emotionally safe. And that safety, that's the real doorway to her heart. You'll start to notice small changes. She'll open up more about her day, about things that matter to her. She'll let you into her quiet world, her thoughts at night, her worries, her hopes. And if you meet those moments with presence instead of pride, she'll begin to associate you with something powerful. Peace. You become the calm in her chaos, the place where she can breathe. And that's what she craves, more than anything, not perfection, not promises, but peace. The peace of knowing she can be herself without being judged. The truth is, when a woman starts to let you in, she's not just opening her heart, she's revealing her emotional blueprint. She's showing you the patterns that make her who she is. The little things that comfort her, the fears she hides behind her smile, the dreams she's never said out loud. And in that space, when she's completely real, she's not looking for a hero. She's looking for a man who can hold her truth without trying to fix it. That's why emotional maturity is the most attractive quality a man can have. Because to a woman, emotional connection is the most intimate form of attraction. When she feels emotionally understood, her physical attraction multiplies naturally. It's not about the muscles, the money, or the mystery. It's about the emotional rhythm you create together. In a world where most people only skim the surface, the man who dives deep, who listens with his heart, not just his ears, becomes unforgettable. She'll remember the sound of your calmness more than your words. She'll remember the way your silence made her feel heard. She'll remember that with you, she didn't have to perform, she could just be. And that's when she begins to let you in, slowly, carefully, but completely. Because to her, love isn't about losing control. It's about finally finding someone who feels like home. When a woman begins to trust you, something profound happens inside her, something invisible but powerful. It's like the moment the first crack of sunlight touches the darkness after a long night. She begins to soften, not because she's weak, but because she finally feels safe enough to stop being strong all the time. Most men never witness this transformation because it's not loud or dramatic. It's quiet, subtle. It begins in her eyes, in the way she looks at you differently. The way her laughter starts coming from her heart instead of her guard. You might notice it when she tells you something small and personal like a childhood story or a memory that shaped her. But what she's really saying is, I trust you enough to see the real me. This is the stage where her emotions deepen. Her attraction moves beyond the surface, it turns into connection. She starts to feel emotionally seen, and that makes her energy toward you change completely. Her texts become more thoughtful. Her tone softens. She starts to open up her emotional rhythm to you, the way she feels, the way she processes the world. And if you meet that trust with calmness, she'll begin to anchor herself in you emotionally. What you must understand is that when a woman trusts you, she doesn't just give you access to her heart, she gives you access to her peace. She lets you into the space she protects the most. That's where she keeps her dreams, her insecurities, her fears, and her hopes. It's not a gift you can demand. It's a gift you earn by showing her that you're not going anywhere when things get real. When she starts trusting you, her energy around you changes. She begins to mirror your calmness. She becomes more affectionate, not because she's trying to impress you, but because she's finally comfortable being fully herself. She doesn't hide her emotions anymore. She expresses them freely because she knows you can handle them. That's when she feels truly feminine, when she's in the presence of a man whose energy doesn't compete with hers, but complements it. And here's something most men don't realize: the moment she starts trusting you emotionally is also the moment her attraction towards you deepens physically. Because for her, emotional connection and physical attraction are intertwined. When she feels safe, her desire flows naturally. She starts to crave your presence, your touch, your voice, not just because of who you are, but because of how you make her feel inside. That's what makes the connection addictive to her. You become her emotional home. You're the person she wants to talk to after a long day. You're the one whose opinion matters, whose energy calms her storms. When she opens up about her worries and you don't judge her, you just listen, she feels something she hasn't felt in a long time. Relief. Relief that she doesn't have to pretend anymore. Relief that she can be vulnerable and still feel valued. You see, most women carry invisible battles. They've been misunderstood, told to get over it, or treated like their emotions were too much. But when you show her that her emotions aren't a burden, that they're welcome, she begins to trust not only you, but also herself again. She starts to believe that her softness isn't a weakness, it's her strength. In those moments, you'll notice something magical. She glows differently. Her energy becomes more nurturing, her words gentler, her eyes warmer. She starts giving you parts of herself she never shared before: her quirks, her humor, her quiet moments. That's her emotional intimacy in full bloom. But remember, trust isn't built through big gestures. It's built through small moments that say, "I'm still here." When you show up, even when it's inconvenient, when you listen without needing to be right, when you respond with patience instead of pride, that's what makes her feel safe enough to stay open. So when a woman starts trusting you, honor that moment. Because it's not just her letting you in, it's her choosing you as her emotional sanctuary. And if you hold that space with respect, she'll give you something no one else will ever get: her full emotional truth. And that truth, once shared, is the most powerful form of intimacy a woman can ever offer. When a woman starts to open up emotionally, it rarely happens in words first. It happens in energy, in presence, in the quiet ways she starts to let you see her. You might not notice it at first, but it's there in her body language, in her tone, in how she begins to act around you when the walls start falling away. At first, she used to keep her emotions guarded. Her eyes would wander when she talked about her past. Her laughter would feel polite, rehearsed. But now, when she's with you, something shifts. Her voice becomes softer, her laughter deeper, her silences more comfortable. That's your first sign she's no longer performing. She's just being. When a woman feels emotionally safe, she starts to show you her unfiltered self, the version of her that doesn't need makeup to feel beautiful, the one who can be quiet and still feel connected to you. She'll start sharing her random thoughts, her weird habits, her insecurities, not to get your validation, but because she trusts that you'll understand them. That's what emotional safety looks like: effortless openness. You'll notice that her guard isn't gone completely. She still has moments where she retreats. But even in those moments, she'll find her way back to you because she knows she's safe there. She knows that even if she's vulnerable, you won't use it against her. And that's rare for her because the world has taught her to hide her softness. Yet somehow, you've made her believe that she doesn't have to. Another invisible sign is how she starts including you in her emotional rhythm. She begins to share what she feels as she feels it. Maybe she tells you, "I had a tough day today," or "I missed you." That might sound simple, but for her, it's huge. It means she trusts you enough to bring you into her emotional reality, not just her highlight moments. You'll also see it in her need for closeness, not just physical, but emotional. She might reach for your hand more often, lean her head on your shoulder, or sit closer to you without saying a word. It's not about touch, it's about connection. Every small gesture says, "I feel safe here." And here's something few men understand. When a woman opens up emotionally, she becomes more feminine in your presence. Her tone softens, her energy flows more freely, her emotions become richer. She starts expressing affection in ways you didn't expect through her words, her laughter, her silence, her care. That's her emotional language. She doesn't need to tell you she's falling for you. Her energy says it first. Sometimes she'll become more curious about you too. She'll ask about your childhood, your fears, your goals, not because she's nosy, but because she's emotionally investing. When a woman feels connected, she wants to understand you. She wants to feel your depth, not just your surface. That's her way of bonding through emotional exchange. One of the most powerful signs, though, is when she lets you see her emotional lows, the moments when she's sad, anxious, or unsure. If she lets you see that side, understand that she's showing you something sacred. She's saying, "I trust you to see me at my most fragile." That's not weakness, that's the deepest form of intimacy. Because to her, showing emotion isn't easy, it's exposure. And if you meet that with patience instead of discomfort, you'll become the person she associates with safety, not judgment. And then there's the way she starts to remember small things about you, the kind of coffee you like, the way you like to sleep, the music you play when you're thinking. These little acts of awareness are how women nurture emotionally. It's their way of saying, "You matter to me." So if you start to feel like she's becoming more open, more real, more emotionally expressive, don't doubt it. That's what emotional intimacy looks like in motion. It's slow, subtle, and deeply personal. She's showing you the parts of herself she hides from everyone else. But here's where most men fail. They mistake her emotional openness for neediness. They start pulling away or trying to fix her feelings. Don't do that. Because when you try to fix her emotions, you tell her unintentionally that her feelings are a problem. Instead, just listen. Hold space. Let her know you're there. That's how you strengthen the bond she's already risking everything to build. When a woman opens up emotionally, she's not just showing trust, she's creating connection. She's giving you her most precious gift, her emotional world. And if you honor it with empathy, you'll discover something rare, a love that feels calm, deep, and real. The kind of love that doesn't fade when passion slows down, because it's built on something unshakable, emotional truth. You can always tell when a woman begins to pull back emotionally. It's not dramatic at first, it's quiet. Her texts get shorter, her laughter feels less alive, and her eyes don't hold your gaze the way they used to. It's like watching the light in her dim slowly, and you don't always know why. But the truth is, when a woman starts to retreat, it's almost never because she stopped caring. It's because something inside her no longer feels safe. You see, for a woman, emotional connection is sacred. It's built slowly, through time, presence, and consistency. But it can crumble in an instant when she feels misunderstood, dismissed, or emotionally abandoned. When she opens her heart, she's handing you something fragile, something she's spent years protecting. And if you handle it carelessly, even once, her instincts take over. She shuts down, not out of anger, but out of self-preservation. What causes this? Sometimes it's small things, the tone of your voice when she's emotional, a distracted reaction when she's vulnerable, a joke that hits a hidden wound. She may not even tell you she's hurt. She'll just start withdrawing, testing whether it's safe to stay open. Because women often don't leave emotionally all at once. They fade away quietly, piece by piece, every time they feel unseen. So if you notice her becoming distant, don't chase her with questions or pressure her for answers. That will only make her close off more. Instead, give her safety again. Rebuild the trust with gentleness. Say less. Listen more. Let her see that you're calm, not reactive. Because in those moments, she's not looking for explanations. She's looking for emotional reassurance. She's asking silently, "Can I still trust you with my heart?" Emotional trust is delicate. Once it cracks, it can't be forced back together, it has to be earned. The best way to protect it is by understanding her emotional rhythm. When she gets quiet, don't assume she's losing interest. Sometimes she's just processing. Sometimes she's retreating to see if your connection can survive in silence. And if you meet that space with patience instead of panic, she'll come back stronger. Because she'll see that your connection doesn't depend on constant reassurance, it depends on emotional safety. Here's something few men understand. When a woman starts to feel emotionally unsafe, she doesn't argue, she detaches. Not because she wants to leave, but because she doesn't know how to stay without losing herself. She'll start to act fine again, but her energy will tell you otherwise. She'll smile, but it won't reach her eyes. She'll talk, but not open up. That's when you must show emotional leadership, not by controlling her, but by grounding her. By letting her see through your actions that she's still safe with you. Protecting her trust doesn't mean being perfect. It means being present. It means learning to say, "I hear you," instead of, "You're overreacting." It means learning that her emotions are not attacks, they're expressions of her inner world. And when you validate them, even if you don't fully understand, she feels secure again. Because for her, safety doesn't come from agreement, it comes from empathy. Never forget, when a woman feels emotionally unsafe, she protects herself by becoming what the world expects: distant, polite, controlled. But when she feels safe, she becomes who she truly is: open, affectionate, and free. You hold the key to that transformation through your energy. If your energy feels steady, she'll trust it. If it feels unpredictable, she'll retreat. That's how sensitive her heart is to your emotional tone. To protect her trust, don't promise her forever, promise her presence. Don't tell her you'll never hurt her, show her that. When you do, you'll make it right. Don't ask her to open up, make her feel that it's safe to do so. Because once she believes that your calmness can handle her chaos, she'll give you more of herself than she's ever given anyone else. That's the power of emotional safety. It keeps love alive long after passion fades. So when she pulls back, don't take it personally. See it as a moment to prove your emotional strength. Be patient, be kind, be still. Because if she feels that your love is grounded enough to hold space for her fears, she'll come back not out of guilt, but out of trust. And this time, she'll stay for real. Because in the end, what keeps a woman is not how much you chase her, but how safe she feels when you stop chasing and simply stay. When a woman truly lets you in, when her walls are gone and her heart feels safe in your hands, something beautiful happens. Her love stops being cautious. It becomes effortless, raw, and real. She no longer calculates her words or second-guesses her emotions. She doesn't need to protect herself anymore because she knows you're not here to hurt her, you're here to understand her. This is the moment where she's all in. And when a woman is emotionally all in, her love doesn't just touch your life, it transforms it. She becomes your peace and your mirror at the same time. She reflects your energy, your truth, your emotional maturity. When she feels safe, she glows differently, softer, more radiant. Her femininity flows like water, her energy feels alive. You'll notice how easily she laughs, how freely she loves, how her eyes carry warmth instead of worry. That's what emotional connection looks like when it's complete. To her, emotional intimacy is not about grand gestures or endless words. It's about how she feels in your presence. When she's next to you, her nervous system relaxes. Her body feels calm. Her mind slows down. You've become her safe place, not because you fixed her pain, but because you made her feel understood in it. When she's emotionally connected to you, her entire love language changes. Her affection becomes deeper. Her words carry emotion. Her silence feels intimate, not distant. She begins to nurture you in ways you didn't even realize you needed, through warmth, softness, care, and presence. She starts anticipating your emotions just by sensing your energy. That's not magic. That's feminine intuition fully activated by emotional safety. When she's all in, she shares her world with you. Her past, her present, her dreams, and her fears, all of it. She'll tell you about her childhood stories, her biggest insecurities, and her quiet hopes for the future. And she won't hide anymore, because she's no longer afraid that her emotions will scare you away. For her, love isn't about perfection, it's about connection. She doesn't need you to fix everything. She just wants to feel that she can face everything with you. You'll see the change in her little moments, how she looks at you when you're not speaking, how she holds your hand longer than before, how she leans into your silence instead of fearing it. That's when you know she's emotionally home, because real love to a woman doesn't feel like excitement, it feels like peace. But understand this, once she reaches that level of emotional connection, your energy becomes sacred to her. How you speak to her, how you react to her, how you handle her emotions, all of it shapes how safe she continues to feel. The deeper the bond, the more fragile the trust becomes. So protect it, honor it. Don't take her openness for granted, because what she's giving you isn't ordinary, it's her emotional world. When she's all in, her heart beats differently around you. You'll feel it in the way she looks at you like you're home, not a thrill. You'll feel it when she reaches out to you during her worst days, not just her best ones. You'll feel it when she trusts you enough to cry, laugh, and dream beside you all in the same breath. That's when love becomes something more than emotion. It becomes energy. That's the power of emotional connection. It's not about falling in love. It's about rising into it. It's about two energies meeting and finding balance. Her softness meets your strength. Her emotion meets your calm. Her vulnerability meets your understanding. Together, it creates something the world rarely sees anymore, a love that feels spiritual, not transactional. And when a woman truly lets you in, she doesn't just love you, she believes in you. She becomes your emotional reflection, your peace, your purpose, because to her, emotional intimacy is not the end of love. It's the beginning of something eternal, because in the end, every woman wants to feel one thing safe enough to be fully herself. And when she finds that safety in you, she doesn't just stay. She chooses you, every day, in every way. You've been watching Be Feminine, where we decode the emotional and psychological world of women so you can understand love not through mystery, but through truth. If this video touched your heart, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Until next time, remember the most attractive thing you can ever give a woman is emotional safety.